The first thing the police found was not her body. It was the wedding tape. It had been left on the kitchen table in a white envelope with no name and no fingerprints. On the front, someone had written only 3 words. Watch him closely. By sunrise, everyone in that small lakeside town believed Evelyn Carter had run away from her husband. By sunset, they knew someone had made her disappear. And by the end of that week, the man crying on television would become the only person in the tape who never looked surprised. Evelyn was 32. Quiet, careful. The kind of woman neighbors described with the same useless sentence. She kept to herself. Her husband, Daniel, was different. He smiled too easily. He shook every hand with both hands. He owned a small construction company that had been failing for almost 2 years, but nobody knew that yet. To everyone else, Daniel and Evelyn looked like a clean American dream. A white house by the water. A golden retriever. Sunday church. Anniversary photos every October. But 3 days before she vanished, Evelyn called her younger sister Mara and said something that sounded harmless at the time. She said, "If anything happens to me, do not let Daniel choose the flowers." Mara laughed. Evelyn did not. Then the line went silent for 4 seconds before Evelyn whispered, "He knows I found it." Mara asked, "Found what?" Evelyn said, "I have to go." That was the last time her sister heard her voice. On Friday night, Daniel reported Evelyn missing. He told officers he came home at 9:40 and found the back door open. Her purse was gone. Her car was gone. Her phone was off. Nothing looked broken. Nothing looked violent. He said they had argued that morning about money and she had been emotional. That word stayed with people. Emotional. It was a small word, but he used it like a weapon. He said it to the dispatcher. He said it to the first officer. He said it to the news reporter outside his house while he wiped tears that never reached his eyes. "My wife has been under pressure," he said. "I just want her home." The town believed him for exactly 11 hours. Then an old fisherman named Calvin Pierce called police and said Evelyn's blue sedan was parked beside the closed boat ramp on County Road 6. The doors were locked. Her purse was inside. Her phone was under the passenger seat. Her wedding ring was in the cup holder. But the driver's seat had been pushed all the way back. Evelyn was 5'4". Daniel was 6'2". That was the first crack. The second crack came from the dog. Their golden retriever Duke had been found locked in the laundry room with 2 bowls of food and a towel pressed against the bottom of the door. Daniel said Evelyn must have done that before leaving, but Mara knew Evelyn treated that dog like a child. She would never lock him away. Not for 1 hour. Not for 1 minute. The third crack was the envelope. It appeared the next morning. No mail stamp. No return address. Just that wedding tape and the words, "Watch him closely." The detectives played it in a small room at the station. At first it looked useless. Grainy footage from 8 years earlier. Guests dancing under string lights. Evelyn in lace. Daniel in a black suit. Mara crying beside the cake. Then the camera drifted toward the back porch. Daniel stood near the railing with his best friend, Owen Vale. Owen leaned close and said something nobody could hear. Daniel smiled. Then Evelyn appeared behind them. She froze. The smile left Daniel's face before he turned around. It was only 2 seconds. 2 seconds of a groom looking at his bride like she had caught him holding a knife. Detectives watched it again. And again. Then they enhanced the audio. Owen's voice came through first. Low and drunk. She can never know about the lake house. Then Daniel answered. She already asked. After that, the sound dissolved into music. The lake house was not in Daniel's name. It belonged to his mother, who had died 6 months before Evelyn vanished. When police searched property records, they found something stranger. 2 weeks before the wedding, Daniel's mother had transferred the lake house into a private trust. The beneficiary was not Daniel. It was Evelyn. Nobody knew why. Not even Mara. Daniel had spent 8 years paying taxes on a house he did not legally own, and Evelyn had discovered it 3 days before she disappeared. Inside that lake house, detectives found fresh paint, new bleach under the sink, a torn piece of grey fabric caught on a nail near the basement stairs. Daniel said he had not visited the house in months, but a toll camera placed his truck heading toward that road at 7:18 on Friday night. He said he had loaned the truck to Owen. Owen denied it. Then Owen disappeared. For 2 days, the case turned into a hunt for 2 missing people, Evelyn and the best friend who knew about the lake house. When police finally found Owen, he was not running. He was sitting in a motel room 40 miles away, with every light on and a pistol on the bed. He told them Daniel had called him Friday afternoon. He said Evelyn had found the trust papers and wanted a divorce. If she divorced him, the lake house would remain hers. If she died, the property would move to Daniel as surviving spouse, unless a will said otherwise. Owen said Daniel asked for help scaring her. Just scaring her. That was the phrase cowards use when they want distance from evil. Owen claimed he refused, but his motel trash told another story. Inside it were latex gloves, a burner phone receipt, and a torn photograph of Evelyn standing on the lake house porch. Owen broke after 6 hours. He said Daniel had not killed Evelyn. Not at first. He said Daniel had planned something colder. He wanted Evelyn to vanish long enough to look unstable. He wanted messages sent from her phone. He wanted bank withdrawals. He wanted neighbors to remember arguments. Then he would file papers, take control, sell the house, pay his debts, start over. But Evelyn fought back. Owen said she ran into the woods behind the lake house while Daniel screamed her name. The search dogs found the place where the leaves had been crushed. They found one of Evelyn's earrings near a creek. They found blood on a stone. But they did not find Evelyn. Daniel was arrested anyway. On television, he looked smaller in handcuffs. He told the cameras his wife was alive. He said Owen was lying. He said the police were destroying an innocent man. But he made one mistake. When a reporter asked if he had anything to say to Evelyn, he did not say, "Come home." He said, "Forgive me." The trial began 6 months later with no body. The prosecution had the truck, the trust, the tape, the fabric, the blood, Owen's confession. But Daniel had something powerful too. Doubt. His lawyer repeated it like a prayer. No body, no murder, no body, no murder. And some jurors listened. Then Mara took the stand. She wore black. She did not cry. She told the court about the phone call. She told them Evelyn was afraid. Then the prosecutor asked about the flowers. Mara said Evelyn hated white lilies. Daniel sent white lilies to every search party table, every candlelight vigil, every interview set. The courtroom went silent because grief had betrayed him in the smallest possible way. Still, it was not enough. The jury deliberated for 9 hours. Daniel stared at the door like a man waiting for God to blink first. Then, before the verdict could return, an officer rushed into the courtroom and whispered to the judge. The room froze. The judge called both attorneys forward. Daniel's face changed before anyone spoke. His lawyer went pale. Outside the courthouse, every camera turned toward the road because a patrol car had arrived with a woman in the back seat. Thin, bruised, alive. Evelyn Carter stepped out wearing a grey sweatshirt and no shoes. For a moment, nobody moved. Not the reporters. Not Mara. Not Daniel. Especially not Daniel. Because dead women do not walk into their own murder trials. Evelyn had survived. She had not run to the road that night. She had crawled through the creek and hidden in an abandoned hunting cabin owned by a man who came only twice a year. She was found by hikers after 6 months of silence. She could barely speak when they found her. But she carried something in her pocket. A small memory card from the security camera at the lake house. Daniel had missed it because Evelyn had hidden it inside a cracked wall socket months earlier after she began suspecting him. The video showed everything. Daniel dragging her into the house. Owen blocking the door. Evelyn screaming that the house was hers because Daniel's mother had told her the truth. And then the secret came out. Daniel's mother had not given Evelyn the house out of kindness. She had given it to her because she knew Daniel had killed his father years earlier and made it look like a boating accident. Evelyn had found the old insurance papers. She had found the hidden police report. She had found the letter Daniel's mother wrote but never sent. The lake house was not a gift. It was protection. The mother had tried to protect Evelyn from the son she feared. Daniel did not vanish Evelyn because of money alone. He vanished her because she had discovered the first crime. The betrayal was not just husband against wife. It was a family secret buried under 20 years of polite smiles. When the video played in court, Daniel did not move. His whole face emptied. Owen started sobbing before the sound even reached the part where Evelyn escaped. The jury needed 42 minutes. Daniel was convicted of kidnapping, attempted murder, conspiracy, and later charged in connection with his father's death after investigators reopened the old case. Owen took a plea and spent the rest of his life telling anyone who would listen that Daniel had planned everything. But nobody cared about Owen anymore. The town remembered Evelyn walking into that courthouse alive. They remembered Daniel seeing her and understanding that the ghost he had invented had returned with proof. Years later, Mara said the strangest thing was not that Evelyn survived. It was that Evelyn had known Daniel better than anyone and still gave him one final chance to confess. He did not. He chose the performance. The tears. The flowers. The grieving husband mask. And that was how he lost. Not because he made one mistake. Because he believed every woman he betrayed would stay silent forever. But Evelyn Carter had hidden the truth inside a wall. Then she climbed out of her own grave. And in the end, the truth found him anyway.